Video Tours welcomes you to a new television experience, a series of intimate excursions to some of the world's most popular attractions. These exclusive videotapes are vivid keepsakes of travel's pleasures and experiences, yours to enjoy and share for years to come.
Of all the windows in your world, some are more magical than others. One magic window looks out on worlds that stretch beyond the imagination. It's a window that can transport you to adventure, romance, mystery, and carry you anywhere in the universe. All the way to behind the scenes at the biggest fantasy factory on Earth. Welcome to Universal Studios.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good.
Another day.
If you want to see how to make a movie, this is the place for you. That's exactly what all the people do who come to work here every day. And most of them aren't actors or directors. They're carpenters, electricians, painters, tailors, all kinds of people with all kinds of skills. That's because the people who really make the movies are people who can make just about anything and make anything happen.
I think we ought to make this look as if it's about 6 or 7 years old.
Well, neon really brightens things up.
That's correct. Give me 4 spares. I don't want to have to wait.
And what makes Universal Studios such a special place for the rest of us who don't make movies for a living? Something that's as old as the studio itself. Universal Studios back in opening year 1915. Hard to tell the actors from the crew here. They all seem to be having a ball. But Universal's founder, one-time Nickelodeon owner Carl Laemmle, wanted the public in on the act too. So for 25 cents, visitors got a box lunch and a chance to watch silent movies being made. It was the first Universal Studios tour, and it lasted until the advent of sound in the movies put an end to live audiences on the set. In 1964, the public was again invited behind the scenes for a brand new kind of Universal tour. People came from all over the world to get a glimpse of movie magic in the making, and maybe even a cameo appearance by you never know who.
You know who I am. I'd like to tell you about Universal Studios Tour. They have sets, stuntmen, action, special effects,
Well, we're now leaving
stars.
our entering our back lot. This is known as Colonial Street.
You do meet the strangest people on the tour.
Today, MCA Entertainment is keeping all the great traditions born at Universal alive and well by continuing to add new titles to the thousands of movies and television shows released under the Universal and MCA logos, and continuing to treat millions of visitors a year to an experience so unique it's become one of the most popular man-made attractions on Earth.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Universal Studios tour.
The tour takes you all over this 420-acre movie empire. Inside, around, and through a series of adventures that bring you closer to the movies than you've ever been before. Now hang on, because your video tour is about to take you even closer than that.
This monster was so big and so great, we just felt like he was going to devour us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now entering Amity Island, the town that was terrorized by a great white man-eating shark. Look out, ladies and gentlemen, he's coming up on the side of the tram.
The tour's tram ride is filled with thrills, but the biggest, richest thrill of all is discovering you've traveled through the screen to the behind-the-scenes world where movies and TV shows are actually made.
Right around the corner here is Hill Valley from Back to the Future. This is actually one of the most frequently used sets here in the back lot. It's known as Courthouse Square.
If this place seems familiar, it is. You can see it by revisiting the screen classic To Kill a Mockingbird. Over the years, countless commercials, TV shows, and feature films have included scenes shot on this same location. One of the most recent and popular is Steven Spielberg's mega hit, Back to the Future.
We're standing here at Courthouse Square where Back to the Future was photographed. And we actually had a situation where we had to create two different time zones. And one was present day, and the other one was going back 30 years. We landed up coming in and aging down the sets, changing some of the facades, changing some of the signs. And we actually came back in here and tore out all this grass that you see behind me and came in and asphalted over it for the present day shots.
Universal's art department staff includes hundreds of behind-the-scenes experts who actually do the making in making movies.
As an art director, what you're trying to do is tell the story visually, as well as the actors telling the story in words and in action. So if you end up leaving a piece here and a piece there out of it, it's like the actor leaving a couple of ands and ors and buts out. Pretty soon, it doesn't start making sense.
These are the details that count to the movie makers behind the cameras. Pieces of wood, buckets of paint, rolls of wallpaper, and skills of every sort.
Well, I'm giving character to a set. Very few sets actually go to stage, and actually with the paint that we originally do on them. We have to age them, give them character to make them look like real life.
Not only does modern movie magic mean being able to make fiction look real, it also means being able to make anything the fiction writers can dream up.
The art director can separate the fantasy from the reality as far as we're concerned. Here in the mill, we take what they've got, what they need, and we prefab mostly parts for sets. We don't have a whole lot of lead time. If they wanted it tomorrow, they say, I'll ask for it tomorrow.
Winston Churchill's famous line, "Give us the tools and we will finish the job," fits this giant mill to a T. This place has every tool the most dedicated craftsman could ever want, including some you won't find in any hardware store. You've heard of word processors, but have you ever heard of a sign processor? These keys are just another key to movie magic.
Signage plays an important part in the making of motion pictures and television here at the studio. Janine's Fashions that you see in front of you landed up being Harry's hardware store 2 weeks ago, and the cutlery store was a florist a month prior to that. Signs actually bring life to a set and actually create that magic that real life has really come into the scene.
To see why the phrase "a sign of the times" might have been invented by movie makers, take another look at Hill Valley in Back to the Future. In this scene, signs not only tell us lots of whats and wheres, they also tell us when. Of course, there are other things in this picture that add to our understanding that we're watching a scene from a particular time. If these cars look pretty as a picture, it's no wonder. They're picture cars, the term that describes any car featured in a moving picture. Like everything else in the world of screen entertainment, picture cars require all kinds of planning and attention. They have to be from the right era, of course, and in the right condition.
For cars that are really non-existent, sometimes we have to go out and create a vehicle that doesn't currently exist, such as this one that was used in Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox. It was originally a DeLorean that's had quite a bit of modification, as you can see. The car is actually a running vehicle that's still drivable, even though it may not be street legal.
Jesse Sperry helps make sure all the picture cars at Universal look just the way you'd expect them to. Or not expect them to in some instances. In a movie, the actors may do most of the talking, but everything has something to say to the viewer. Take a place like this image, for example. Seen during the middle of an ordinary day, there's nothing particularly telling about this spot on Universal's huge back lot. But add a little movie magic to it by seasoning it with some special sounds and music, add a few telltale visual effects, and you know the tale being told here is about something terrifying, such as Universal's classic monster movie, Frankenstein.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Frankenstein was one of Universal's most famous horror films, but it wasn't the only one to transform Universal's The Court of Miracles set into the stalking grounds of creatures and characters. There was The Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Phantom of the Opera, and Dracula, films that used movie magic to make this a place where the worst was bound to happen. Some sets, on the other hand, don't need much help to tell you what kind of story you're watching. Just one look at this famous house sets the mood for one of the most frightening films ever made, here or anywhere.
Good evening. My name is Alfred Hitchcock. Welcome to the site of what many consider to be my scariest movie ever, Psycho.
In the second half of his career, Alfred Hitchcock shot most of his films at Universal. He became such a fixture here, you could almost say the studio was his home away from home. Not this home, of course. This one belonged to a fellow named Norman Bates. But in one of his most memorable on-screen appearances, the master of suspense did take audiences on a guided tour of the place.
And in this house, the most dire, horrible events took place.
Hitchcock produced this tongue-in-cheek visit to his Psycho house to promote the movie's premiere. Today, on MCA's home video release of another Universal horror classic, The Bride of Frankenstein, you can see all of this priceless performance for yourself. And, of course, you can still see the Psycho house for yourself when you take the Universal tour.
Well, the murderer, you see, crept in here very slowly. Of course, the shower was on, there was no sound. And,
you see, folks, this actually is a prop knife. And there is your copper tubing right through here, and here's where the blood squirts. And I can only tell you that if you believe that we killed somebody, then we're doing our job.
The job they do in Universal's prop department is a big one. Aside from the set itself, just about everything on the screen that isn't alive is considered a prop. From action props like knives to set dressing props like lamps or carpets. Once a set designer knows what a particular set should look like, the prop list is sent here, where more than 4 acres of things are stored. From serious works of art to zany-looking who-knows-whats. From massive mirrors to miniature merry-go-rounds. Once the people in the prop department have located everything that's needed, they deliver it all to the set. There, the set designer makes sure that all the right pieces get put into all the right places to create a place that will look convincing on the screen.
I always try to do sets the way people imagine things to be, not maybe the way they actually are. Yeah, this is Universal's New York Street. And it's really one of the best streets in Hollywood, and it's been filmed hundreds and hundreds of times.
Two-time Academy Award-winning set designer Henry Bumstead earned one of his Oscars for turning an exterior set located in California and nicknamed New York Street into Chicago for a movie called The Sting.
We do a tremendous amount of research when we do a period picture. The Sting was a good example because in that period they didn't use much color, which they did, and everything was kind of in browns and grays. And this is the Sting drugstore. Of course, it didn't look like that. It's been changed many times since we used it for the Sting.
This same set that Henry Bumstead turned into Chicago for The Sting underwent an even more amazing transformation when it became Richmond in Streets of Fire. A huge canopy was erected that turned the entire exterior environment into an interior, to enable the producers to shoot nighttime scenes all day long. Actually, a lot of shooting at Universal takes place indoors, in one of several massive enclosures that offer control not only of light and weather, but of sound as well, which is why they're called sound stages.
This is an existing location outside of Seattle by the name of the Browns Inn. It's over 7,000 square feet. The exterior was measured, and it's been duplicated on stage 25. The home is very, very large. It's very old. And as you can see, it's in the background here. It's been painted a different color. It has the exteriors as well as the interiors. It has the second floor, which is built on the same stage. You can fit very, very, very large exterior and interior sets on a stage.
Imagine working in a building big enough to house another building, or several rooms from a very large, luxurious home. Then imagine all the things you could do with all that space, and all the tools, and all the skills that Universal has on hand. And you'll begin to get a sense of the enormous resources required to make a make-believe world 100% believable.
There are a lot of tremendously talented people working behind the scenes. And I mean, not only the carpenters and the plasters, the painters, the costume designers, the cinematographers, sound, music. There's just a wealth of talent in the motion picture industry. And I think that's what movie magic is.
Count up the names and the credits of a modern screen production, and you'll see just how much of what we love about movies and TV shows comes from behind the scenes, and from the behind-the-scenes stars at work everywhere on the Universal lot.
Okay, let's roll a rehearsal, please.
Is going to be used as a contestant holding area.
You name the stars and we walk for them.
We come into work every day. It's truly like lifting the top up on this huge toy box.
Okay, line it up. Let's have a playback on that.
After that, pretty much is ready to go to the movie theater.
It all adds up to this, a legacy of screen entertainment, featuring films of every kind, from wacky comedies to horror classics, to wild and woolly westerns.
Let's do it. Anytime you're ready.
Now!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Universal
At the Universal Tour, a series of spectacular live shows provide visitors with a first-hand look at movie magic brought to life.
Turn, hold it. How you feel?
Bad fall, real bad fall. I think an audience appreciates a live show where we have to depend on everything working, because if we goof, and that has happened in the show, then the audience sees that. So it keeps us pretty much alert.
In a movie, a stunt performance involves substituting your body for someone else's for dangerous bits of business. In this show, the performers have to master a wide range of difficult stunts and know how to do the acting as well. And on top of that, they have to be funny on cue.
The most important thing and the most basic thing is timing.
I think I shot the wrong guy. Boy, is he gonna be mad. Don't turn around.
I've always tried to approach this as sort of a long-running play. I mean, who knows? With the acting experience, I'm learning day by day. Maybe I'll become the next John Wayne. You don't believe that, though, do you?
Being the next John Wayne is every actor's dream. And speaking of actors, It's true, in the land of show business make-believe, animals are actors too.
Pick up the money, bring it back.
Of course, every actor needs rehearsal.
Go.
What?
So this is how we do it in a movie situation. Roll good. But in front of a live audience, you only get one chance.
Mickey the Monkey.
Pig. Jump up there and say hello. Sunshine, can you believe this? How about a big hand for the Martial Eagle?
But when you get right down to it, no matter how different animal actors are from their human counterparts, when they do their jobs right, the reward is just as sweet.
Applause for Trainer Mac Emery and all our fine animal actors. Thank you, folks.
In addition to all the classic kinds of entertainment showcased at Universal, a new generation of presentations is combining the look of today's spectacular movie special effects with the impact of living, breathing reality. The Adventures of Conan, a sword and sorcery spectacular. This, for example, combines live theater with millions of dollars worth of technology to create a dramatic spectacle of unprecedented proportions.
What Conan is a compilation of every single live special effect that you can do. It's got all these various effects: lasers, fire, pyro, magic. It's got CO2, it's got smoke, it's got animation, all these things in one place. So from that standpoint, it is the state-of-the-art kind of show.
Conan's huge stage setting conceals an even larger collection of high-tech equipment, including a massive sense-around audio system that can bring a dragon's howl to life. Plus, a complicated system of lasers that weave a web of high-powered visuals, including a hidden super beam that uses 4,000 watts of power per square centimeter to trigger a volley of on-stage pyrotechnic explosions. But this is more than a hardware show. It's live theater, and the actors in the show have discovered a whole new meaning for the term stage fright.
One time I came out, I make an appearance, and it's supposed to be smoke then fire. What happened was fire then smoke. And what happened was that all this burned up, and I just had a little string here. My wig burned up. Fortunately, it's, you know, it's fireproof retardant, so I didn't burn my hair or anything else. Ah, the magic of the theater.
In what may amount to the ultimate combination of ingredients, the Conan Spectacular has applied the skills of advanced designers with the tools of tomorrow's technology to create a character bigger than any human performer has ever played. This 18-foot-tall, snarling, fire-breathing beast has to perform just as precisely as everyone else in this production.
We computer program him so that he goes through a certain series of movements, and he comes up and he does the same thing for every single show. He's basically got to be in the right place to fire his laser eyes and to fire the fire out of his mouth every single time so that the actors know what to expect.
If technology is one of the players in Conan, there's another mega attraction at Universal that's made technology king. King Kong. This beast's sheer size, realistic expressions, and hot winds of banana bread are just some of its many remarkable features. But what's most remarkable is the entire concept behind this new approach to how to treat an audience.
In essence, we've now got the guests eye to eye, just feet away from King Kong, and they're actually participating with him swinging the bridge back and forth for, it's got to be sure, imminent disaster. We escape out of there, needless to say, to live and tell the story over and over again. And that's just a bit of movie magic that happens in 2 minutes and 20 seconds, resets, and essentially happens every 3 minutes all day long. On this set, we're going to have a lot of overlapping action that will be seen from a variety of point of views.
Behind this new generation of powerhouse entertainment is a powerhouse team of design and engineering talents.
Everything that happens for MCA Recreation and Universal Studios and the tour originates here. And we're responsible for guiding it all along the way. Initially, what happens when you develop a project, you start off with some real quick sketches so that you have a common denominator that everyone can work from. Okay.
As many amazing things as this group has already created, they never stop coming up with more. This planning session was devoted to Universal's newest and biggest attraction, the Miami Vice Action Spectacular.
Well, what we want to do, if we can, is get a lot of the action real close to all these people so that they can really experience all the explosions and all the tremendous kind of special effects real close. You know, that's the one thing that you can't do when you see a film.
Seeing ideas like those being translated into reality is a show in and of itself.
Action!
I've probably got 15 contractors out there right now working just on the effect stuff. Can I get those plywood out of there?
Watching this crew mount a show about a battle is an example of life imitating art.
I need to get that plywood out of the control room.
There's going to be 50 stunts in 18 minutes, and it will be radical.
1, 2, 3!
Everything that you see that we're doing has double and triple thoughts about safety. We just have to be safe in everything we do.
Action! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12!
Believe me, if your timing is off, you can make one mistake and you have the end result of this.
But when it all works right, which is almost all the time, you have an end result that looks like no other live show you've ever seen. It's the end of another long and busy day, like most in this city within a city called Universal Studios. Thousands of guests leave with their mementos of a visit behind the scenes, a snapshot, a t-shirt, or a memory of something unforgettable. Designers, builders, and other movie makers head for home to rest up for another day of making dreams come true.